Hi guys, I wanted to make a video about all of the things I used pre-pregnancy and pre-insemination, and then me and Bobby used during insemination to get a positive test the first time. Hopefully this helps some of you guys who are looking to conceive. I know that it definitely helped us, and it helped us get a positive test on the first try with at-home insemination. We did get a negative test when it came to doing the banks with a midwife doing in-uterine insemination, but I didn't do any of these things when we did the initial insemination with her. So these are all the things that I did post-insemination with the midwife with our at-home insemination. Moving forward, some of the things that I did to prep for insemination is, number one, I did the fertility tea. I did the fertility tea, I would say 14 days before insemination. And it's by Pink Stork. I started using that, I wanna say, a few times a week. And in the fertility tea, along with that, I also put these herbs in there. I got these from Mexico. I went on a trip with my best friend to Cabo, and while we were at a store, this man just started telling me about this herb that helps with getting pregnant. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it helps you get fertile or whatever. And it's called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's called hoja de Damiana, I believe. We'll take a closer picture of it and post it on here. I simmered that herb in the water, and then I put a bag of the fertility tea, and I did that a few times a week. I also did prenatals, I wanna say almost 2 months before doing the at-home insemination, because keep in mind, we did try before the at-home insemination. So I started taking prenatals almost like immediately when we had decided that we wanted to have a baby. 2 weeks prior to insemination, I also started taking maca powder. I heard that it helps boost your fertility. I'll go ahead and link that specific maca powder that I was taking, but I was taking that every single day. Additionally, sea moss helps boost fertility, so that was a plus because I was always doing it anyways. And then some of the items that I used to figure out my ovulation is Inito. We already mentioned this in our previous video, but I thought I would expand on it. I started doing Inito when we decided that we wanted to do at-home insemination, which was something that my midwife recommended. The one thing I really loved about Inito is that it told me my high ovulation days as well as my peak, which would have been the day before my ovulation. So if you wanted to inseminate a few days prior, you would be able to, because it literally tells you a few days prior to your actual ovulation date. We were doing these little strips, these at home. It's called Easy at Home, and it's by Premom. We ordered it off of Amazon, and it's these like little test strips. They're super cheap off of Amazon. I also was doing the Clear Blue ovulation exam. And this was, again, pre-at-home insemination when we first did the insemination with the sperm bank. And that helped me kind of figure out what my peak was. Moving forward, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up some of the items that we use in order to inseminate at home. And this is where Bobby is gonna join me. We had used 3 items to inseminate at home. The first is pre-seed. We realized that this was an item that a lot of people who did inner cervical at-home insemination had used, and just people that were struggling with infertility. It's a fertility lubricant, so it is essentially supposed to help the sperm swim up to the uterus. This was what we did wrong on the first night. You're supposed to put it in, like you have to shoot it up there with the syringe or with the applicator, I guess I should say, and leave it up there for 15 minutes because it has to warm up to your body temperature because it happens to be cold. And on the first night, we didn't fully read the instructions. We ended up inseminating 3 minutes after we had put it up there. So honestly, it could have potentially just like killed all of this instead of actually helping them swim. God knows what had happened that night. But after the first night, the next 2 inseminations, we made sure to do it correctly, which is that you're supposed to leave it up there for 15 minutes, then inseminate, okay? That's really important because apparently it just doesn't work unless you do it like that. So yeah, we used pre-seed. It's super cheap. Amazon, purchase it. Even straight people, use this.
You got this cup.
This actually came with the Make a Mom syringe that we had purchased.
This is the cup for the so we had our donor put his in here, and we had to inseminate right after.
Correct.
So it had to be fresh.
It also has to be sterilized. The cup has to be sterilized, and the syringe has to be sterilized after every insemination.
And before.
I don't know if it came sterilized.
But we sterilized it.
Yeah, we sterilized it the first, second, and third time. And we sterilized the cup. Yeah. Because they said to. And we wanted to make sure that germs or whatever didn't kill the. That's the number one thing that makes it harder to inseminate, is like things not being completely clean. So we made sure to sterilize everything. The reason I actually picked this Make a Mom cryo baby syringe is because you can sterilize it and you can use it as many times as possible. This Make a Baby syringe, it is called Cryo Baby Inner Cervical Insemination Kit. I felt like it was worth the $100 investment that if we decide to have other kids in the future, you just sterilize it and then use it again. So it's worth the investment. Initially, I had bought this Frida insemination kit off of Amazon, but it was not reusable. So, and they said you couldn't use it more than once. I just felt like that was such a waste of money. So I started researching inner cervical insemination kits, and this one was the one that came up. It was amazing because as you can tell, the syringe is hella long. So you'll be able to shoot the sperm up very high up there.
It was up in there.
Yeah, I could actually feel it a little bit, but it wasn't super uncomfortable. And normal insemination kits, they are like this long. So therefore you have to think about how far up your uterus this would go.
Vaginal canal is before the uterus.
Okay, so how far up the canal this would be going. So this is like, I think it damn near was at my uterus, like truly.
Yeah, I pushed it in.
So yeah, so go ahead, and Bobby is gonna kind of give you guys a demo of like some of the things that we did wrong and how you should do it correctly. What I would also do before actually using the real sperm is kind of like practice with the syringe, because it's not like most other syringes.
So this is pretty much all you need.
Okay, so can you kind of like give a demo of how you would get the sperm?
How I did it wrong, or how I did it
right? She's gonna demo how we initially did it on the first night.
Okay.
You didn't even do that. And then she kept, to get the air out, she kept squirting it back in there and then bubbling. This was exactly what she was doing.
Yeah.
It was a
yeah. We didn't do it right the first night.
Correct.
But we still put it in there, and she still had her legs up.
Yeah.
But the second night, I made
sure.
So
we tilted it.
She tilted it, and then I sucked this.
Like, she did it way slower than that. I actually think I did the sucking of this because I didn't trust her.
Can you be quiet?
Like... Girl!
It's been a minute. Lean it.
I'm good.
Okay, you gotta go really slow.
You have to go super slow. That's pretty much about how much you ain't gotta do the whole thing for.
Yeah. So you see how there's no air?
Yeah. If there was air, pretend like that there's air. Please just form some air. Just
No, I
start
already
sucking.
did that. I already did that part. I want to do it right.
No, I'm saying suck the air. I'm not saying suck the water and then tell them how to take the air out correctly.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Why do you keep doing that?
Sorry, Scooter. Okay, so let's just say we had a little air bubble.
Right.
So we just...
Don't do that! Let's just say I did this part because I knew this is exactly what Bobby would do, okay? So let's say there was air, okay, right? So you really just need to control the syringe and get it out slowly, okay?
Yeah, I'm too
Just
strong.
like that. You can't just be like pushing it in. It's like not
Okay, shut up.
that kind of
All right,
syringe.
Then you put it in. I had it in her like that much. Yeah, like that much. And then I just shot it up. And
Slowly.
no, I
Don't-
shot it up fast.
Bobby, you're supposed to do it slowly.
I shot it up fast because I want the motherfuckers to swim. It worked.
Whatever. You're not supposed to do that, just an FYI. They had advised me that you should put it in very slowly.
I shot it up there.
We inseminated. I put my legs up for 30 minutes. I put my legs up for 30 minutes.
During the time where she had her legs up, we had some relaxing, calm music so she can just relax her body and her mind and kind of just relax like she never does. And that was a part of the process.
Yeah, we always played like meditation music every
Nature
time my legs
sounds.
were up. And right after my legs were up, we had gotten a cup. It's pretty much the same cup that I use for my period because I use cups, but we used it in order to keep all of the sperm up. So we kept the cup up there for about an hour, sometimes a few hours. There were some inseminations where we did a few hours. There were some where we did at least 1 hour. It gave them a longer period of time to be able to swim up to the uterus, essentially.
This is the Goddess of Fertility stone, and we had this near us during insemination, and it just brought the spiritual vibes of
Fertility, of
she's about to be pregnant.
conception.
Yeah, just about to be a mom. So we had it by our bed, and during insemination,
It was kind of like on my stomach when my legs
on
were
her
up.
stomach. But I feel like if you're spiritual and if you believe in that stuff, like it could bring the vibes of, you know, pregnancy, and hopefully it'll help the spirit come to your
I
womb.
think it was 10 days post-ovulation that I saw that you could test. We used 3 tests. The first test we used was...
Clear blue. And we got first response pregnancy. And then we got the Wanfo.
Yeah. So the Wanfo
Those are the
was...
strips.
Yeah, they're the strips. I believe that one was the cheapest test. And then the first response was the second cheapest. We did get a positive on all 3 of them 10 days post-ovulation. So if you can't purchase multiple pregnancy tests, honestly, you're fine with this one. I was able to still see the dim line 10 days post-ovulation, and I knew that I was positive.
Even some of my straight friends were telling me like, hey, I'm trying for a baby. So she said a lot of great pointers about the fertility stuff and, you know, the ovulation kit you can use so that way, you know, you and your mans can find the right time and go ahead and do that. Maybe we should chat about like the donor a little bit more. Signed over his...
Shut up. Over his
Shut
rights.
up! What we did was we signed some paperwork to sign over his parental rights to me, so that way I'm responsible for the child as their parent, and then that way we can also like, he was also like mentioning about like child support, like he doesn't want us to get it for child support, but like that could never happen if we have the parental rights signed over to me. And we got that paperwork notarized at UPS, and it's solidified. He has a copy, we have a copy. And that same day, he showed us his STD test results, and he was negative for everything. So he was clean, and we wanted to make sure. So we had the paperwork, we had the testing, and then we inseminated. Those steps are absolutely necessary if you're using a live donor.
She would also be signing the birth certificate, so that would completely solidify her parental rights.
We got a positive test. These are things that we did to propel that forward.
Wow, I like that. Propel that forward. Period. Say that. I really love when you use large vocabulary words, babe.
I'm happy I'm doing this with you. She's a really great partner. And yeah, these are things that we did, and now we're pregnant, and we'll know the gender soon.
Yes, and hopefully this video helps somebody. Share it with as many people as possible that are looking to conceive, because I think these are like extremely helpful like tips that I had researched from so many different like sources that we try to combine into one video, and hopefully it's helpful to a lot of you.
Yeah, I know it will be helpful.
But